There are many videos about alchemy in ancient Greece, but I wanted to take a deeper look into the lore of it. The legendary origins, the connection to Thoth and Hermes, the god of wisdom in writing.
Hermes, the god's messenger.
None other.
And some of the inventions that came out of this practice. So, thank you all for being here, and let's begin. For us to begin correctly, I feel we should start with the Emerald Tablet of Hermes, and some of the stories that are attached to it. The origins of the Emerald Tablet are shrouded in mystery, and it's difficult to pinpoint specific dates for its creation. However, it is attributed to Hermes Trismegistus. Hermes is usually seen as a combination of the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth, symbolizing the fusion of Greek and Egyptian wisdom. Alchemy, a unique discipline that attempts to bridge the realms of science and religion, has its origins in a time when these two domains formed a single, unified philosophy. At the heart of this ancient wisdom lies the legendary Emerald Tablet, a mysterious artifact that has fascinated seekers of knowledge for over a millennia. According to legend, the Emerald Tablet was created over 12,000 years ago and brought to Egypt during a time known as Zep Tepi, when godlike beings were said to roam the earth.
From Set!
Come on! Let Ra himself hear you!
The author of this cryptic text was Thoth, a supposed member of the ancient Egyptian group of 9, little brother to Amun-Ra. Thoth was a polymath, credited with bestowing upon humanity a vast array of arts and sciences, including writing, mathematics, music, astronomy, architecture, and medicine. And the Emerald Tablet is considered the repository of his condensed wisdom. In the ancient Ebir's papyrus, a venerable 68-foot-long scroll dedicated to alchemical knowledge, it is stated that man's guide is Thoth. He is also often referred to as the revealer of the hidden and the lord of rebirth. He is credited with illuminating scholars and physicians, granting them the ability to work miraculous cures. Thoth's influence extended to the realms of spirituality and consciousness. His scrolls, including the Book of Breathings, were said to teach humans how to attain godlike status through breath control and focused consciousness. Now, before the Great Flood, Thoth played a pivotal role in preserving ancient wisdom. He is said to have sealed sacred objects and scrolls inside 2 grand pillars, initially known as the Pillars of the Gods of the Dawning Light. These pillars hold a central place in numerous historical accounts, including those of the historian Herodotus and the Greek legislator Solon, who is said to be the ancestor of Plato. Thoth's pillars were eventually opened, revealing a trove of ancient manuscripts, and inside was the legendary Emerald Tablet. He is also said to have many forms, and have been seen as a god with a different name in many cultures across Earth. Now, not all of this is mainstream, but I'm here to look past that and see the truth. Now, he is said to have surfaced in Sumeria as Ningisida, the son of Enki, then became known as Thoth in Egypt and built the Great Pyramids. After warring with his brother Amun-Ra, He was then apparently ordered by his father to leave Egypt and start civilization across the waters, as to end the infighting with his brother, Amun-Ra. To what people believe, that's when he came across the waters with his priest and his people, the Olmecs, and kick-started the Teotihuacan civilization in Mexico and was known as the god Quetzalcoatl, which, if this was true, it would honestly help to explain why there are pyramids built in South and Mesoamerica as well as Egypt. When archaeologists and historians claim that there's no way that Egyptian culture could have made it across the Atlantic to the Americas, or vice versa. It's interesting though. I'm starting not to fully believe mainstream anymore. There are too many donors and benefactors that control these institutions that are in charge of archaeology. Like I covered a few in this video right here. Go check it out. Thoth's influence is not confined to the Western world. It has infiltrated Eastern religions as well. He has been described as a philosopher and a healer, and even in Hindu sacred texts, it seems Thoth is equated with the Buddha, both referred to as the son of the moon. He's also referred to as Merlin the magician in Celtic, Mercury in Rome, of course Hermes from Greek mythology, and it's possible he either was Jesus Christ or he was one of the teachers of Jesus Christ. Due to the similarities in what Jesus preached, it was almost identical to what was written down by Thoth. I can definitely do a full video one day on what I think the actual timeline of Thoth was, who he's connected to, everything he possibly accomplished and more. Let me know what you guys think about that down below in the comment section. But according to these connections and legends, Thoth is seen as the father or god of alchemy, its creator and its master, taught to him by his father during his time in Atlantis, when the world had gods walking amongst men. And by the time ancient Greece arrived into fray, was when his character became intertwined with Hermes of the Greek pantheon, so they became one.
Hermes, the god's messenger.
None other.
Finally, Athena sent you. Please.
Answer my riddle, or cease to be.
Go on. I'm waiting.
This brings us to a pivotal figure, Alexander the Great, who had a huge role in the preserving of ancient alchemical texts. Alexander's conquest in the 4th century BCE had a profound and lasting influence on the development of Greek alchemy and the exchange of knowledge. His military campaigns stretched from Greece through Asia Minor, the Levant, Egypt, and as far east as the Indian subcontinent. One of the most significant outcomes of Alexander's conquest was the blending of Greek and Egyptian cultures. This is said to be around the time when the Greeks and Egyptians started to connect the dots between their two cultures' pantheon of gods. Hence, the connection between Hermes and Thoth was made. Now, as I stated earlier about the preservation of text, it is said that the Library of Alexandria, established during the 3rd century BCE, played a pivotal role in preserving these alchemical texts. This vast collection of scrolls and manuscripts, including works on alchemy, ensured that knowledge of alchemical practices and theories was passed down through the ages. The Library of Alexandria became a beacon of scholarship and intellectual pursuit. And the accidental burning of the library by Julius Caesar in 48 BC is honestly a damn shame. It's still unclear to this day how many books could have survived, but in all honesty, I believe Rome took the contents of the library, and it's possibly still hidden in the Vatican to this day. I also cover some of that in this video as well. Go check it out.
That
is precisely the date that Plato, which is the earliest surviving reference to Atlantis, that's precisely the date he gives for the destruction of Atlantis. 11,600 years before our time. He puts it this way, that his ancestor Solon visited Egypt. And we know about that visit. It's historically recorded. That visit to Egypt was in 600 BC. And there Solon claimed to have been told by Egyptian priests about this great advanced civilization that once existed, but that angered the gods, was destroyed in an enormous flood. And Solon asked those Egyptian priests, when did this happen? And they said, 9,000 years ago. Well, do the math. That's 11,600 years ago. That's exactly the date of the end of the Younger Dryas, and it's exactly the date of what is called Meltwater Pulse 1b, one of the biggest single rises overnight in sea level that ever occurred. So if Plato made it up, it's really weird that he picked a date that is precisely a date that coincides with the latest geological evidence on cataclysmic sea level rise at the end of the Ice Age. The story of Atlantis is not alone. There are thousands of traditions from all around the world speaking of a global flood that destroyed a former civilization, that brought to an end a golden age.
And there's plenty of evidence that there were many sites like this that were thought to be just legend and myth, like Troy, for instance, that has now been proven to be an actual real city that mimics the initial descriptions of it.
Plato, the renowned ancient Greek philosopher, born around 427 or 428 BCE, introduced the story of Atlantis to the world. In his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, he stated that his ancestor, Solon, who was a well-known documented figure, learned about Atlantis from his time in Egypt. According to Plato's account, Atlantis was an ancient and powerful civilization that eventually met its downfall to its hubris and moral decay, and then eventually fell into the sea. It's stated that this event happened 9,000 years before the time of Solon, which puts us to a time of 11,000 years ago, a period called the Great Deluge. As we get further into finding out the truth of things on this channel, it will start to become suspiciously clear that something happened around 11,000 to 12,000 years ago. And a lot of different cultures, traditions, and myths point towards that as well. Plato's philosophical ideas, as presented in his various dialogues, was foundational during the classical period of Greek philosophy and helped in the growth of alchemy in ancient Greece. A prominent figure in the school of thought known as Platonism, which focused on the search for truth, the nature of reality, and the pursuit of wisdom. Plato's allegory of the cave serves as a metaphor for the transformative journey from ignorance to enlightenment, sharing common themes with alchemy such as the quest for hidden knowledge, purification and transformation, and the pursuit of spiritual and material enlightenment. In the allegory of the cave, Plato presents a scene where prisoners are chained inside of a cave, facing a wall. They have been imprisoned there since birth and can only see the shadows cast on the wall by objects and figures passing behind them. These shadows are their only perception of reality. Plato suggests that if one of the prisoners were to be freed and brought out of the cave, they will be exposed to the sunlight and the true nature of reality. Initially, the freed prisoner will be dazzled by the brightness and unable to comprehend the new world they encounter. But gradually, they will begin to understand the truth and recognize the shadows in the cave as mere illusions. This allegory resonates with the philosophical and symbolic foundations of alchemy, underlining the importance of breaking free from illusions, pursuing higher truths, and undergoing personal and spiritual transformation. Our journey through the enigmatic world of alchemy brings us to the remarkable contributions of some notable alchemists. These visionaries left an indelible mark on the development of alchemical knowledge. Mary the Jewess, 1st century CE, also known as Mary Prophetessa, was one of the earliest known alchemists. She is credited with inventing the double boiler apparatus called the bain-marie and improving distillation methods. Cleopatra the Alchemist, 3rd century CE, focused on practical alchemy and chemical processes. Her writings emphasize the laboratory procedures, equipment, the preparation of various alchemical substances, and some writers even credit her to be the inventor of the alembic, another distillation apparatus. This innovative furnace provided greater mobility in alchemical work, making the practice more accessible and adaptable. I think it's pretty cool that a lot of the inventions from the alchemists in ancient Greece were invented by women. These remarkable alchemists and their pioneering inventions and contributions have significantly shaped the course of alchemical knowledge and, honestly, the world. A portable furnace and distillation methods are base techniques that we still use today in science, and that's amazing. The rise of mystery cults and esoteric traditions intersected with alchemy, including the Orphic and Dionysian mysteries, Hermeticism and Gnosticism. These mystical traditions emphasize spiritual purification, ecstatic practices, hidden or esoteric knowledge, and the quest for divine union, all of which influenced and enriched alchemical thinking and practices. Furthermore, some of the earliest roots of alchemical thought can be particularly traced back to the renowned philosopher Pythagoras. He explored concepts of transmutation, purification, mystical properties of numbers, all of which had a profound impact on the development of alchemical theories. Pythagoras believed in the transmutation of substances, forming a fundamental principle in alchemy, where the aim was to transform base metals into noble ones, like gold. So, today we took a look into the actual lore and legends surrounding the origins of alchemy, the profound wisdom and legend of Thoth and the Emerald Tablet, the basis for all alchemy, the enduring legacy of Alexander the Great that led to the blending of Egyptian and Greek cultures, which resulted to the combining of the god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth, the philosophical depth of Platonism and his allegory of the cave, helping to expand on the Hermetic thought process of being free from the material world to see the truth, and the invaluable contributions of notable alchemists like Mary the Jewess. Alchemy has definitely had a role to play in the development of our understanding of the world, and the legends surrounding Thoth, the father of alchemy in Atlantis, that possibly can connect the dots to the construction of the pyramids in both Egypt and Mesoamerica. I believe there has to be something to this alchemy. These so-called gods and the deluge, the time after the Ice Age. So let me know if you guys feel the same way about all of this that I do. It's starting to seem like legends make a more cohesive story on the bigger scale of things, in comparison to mainstream media, of course. So thank you guys for joining me again today. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below on this and on what I should cover next. Like and subscribe, and be safe, everyone.
Fear not, Father. The more one suffers in this life, the easier they move into the next.